So, hey everyone, I'm really excited. We have a really good, informative live stream today. I'm here with Homestead in the Hood, and we're going to be going over a lot of different topics. And I've already went ahead and put some downloadable PDFs that she gave for all the different information that we're going over, so that once you hear all the information, you go and you be a doer of what she's given. So we're going to be talking about, we're going to go over a questionnaire first. We're going to go over the go bag. I call it to go bag. She says go bag. We're going to talk about the vehicle emergency disaster kit. We're going to talk about the shut-in kit list, the family emergency plan. We're going to talk about the child ID kit, and we're going to talk about the safety escape plan grid that she has. So, Homestead in the Hood, tell us a little bit about your channel, or tell us about what we're going to be talking about, or anything that you want to add to the conversation.
I'm a gardening channel, and a part of being a homesteader, being off grid, is that 911 is not always available.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in the city right next to a hospital, and 911 is not always available.
Right.
So there are basic things you need to know. Um,
Right.
so I just want to share that information.
Right. And this is your first live. So, and you're working with, we're going to be sharing the screen, going over a lot of information. So, just be patient with us as we try to share this information with you all. Um, so, do you want to get straight into the information, or you want to talk a little bit about how you came up with these lists or these kit lists, where you got the information or your background, anything like that, or we'll just go straight into it?
My background is was emergency medicine.
Uh-huh.
Um, I volunteered with the Red Cross in their disaster action team as well as their administrative team.
Right.
So, responding to disasters. I'm also a member of CERT, which everybody should be a member of.
Mm-hmm.
It's Community Emergency Response Team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where
Sorry.
you're training as a community to learn how to how to respond to disasters. Um, that's all I'll share for now.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so let's go ahead and greet everybody. And when she shares her screen, she's not able to see me or see the screen. So we'll just go to any questions in between, but just bear with us. So let's see who we had here. We have TT's Urban Pantry. Thank you. Good morning. And I'm sorry we pushed it back. We were having technical difficulties. Hey, Hustle Hard Mom. Thank you so much for joining. Andel in the colony. She says, hello, you two. Good morning. Thank you. Hey, Thelma at Simple Southern Reflections. Thank you for joining. Hey, Gigi. And hey, Adrian, Indiana Backyard Gardener. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even say Gigi's Naturals Homestead. Thank you. Good morning. Um, Here listening, but I'm driving. Oh yeah, she's a wonderful source of information. And wait till you guys see what she's going to talk about. And we have all the files that she's talking about. We have the PDFs. I put them in the description, so you can download all this information. And that's what I want to encourage people to do. Don't just listen to the information, but actually make sure you have the emergency backup plans for your family. So, are you ready to go into the first slide or the first questionnaire?
Yes.
All right. Am I going too fast for you?
No.
Oh, she's saying you are a wealth of information, a wonderful source of information. Okay, so let's go ahead. All right. So go ahead, take over.
Okay. I have to find. Okay, I think I got it.
I'm gonna make it bigger just in case people are on the mobile. But go ahead.
Um, hold on. It disappeared from. It was right next to the dot. It disappeared from my screen.
Oh, the questionnaire. I can
Yeah.
go ahead, but go ahead and fix it however you need to. But
Okay,
can
I got it.
everybody see
I
it?
have it. I have it. Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Maybe on mobile, make it full screen. But go ahead.
Okay. Um, the questions are basic. Do you think you and your family are relatively well prepared for a disaster such as an earthquake, tornado, winter storm, fire, flood, nuclear incident, biological, chemical, or technological incident, and famine? There's a difference between watch and warning. Um, I can't see them if they're saying something.
No, we'll get to it after you finish. Go ahead.
Okay, do you know the meaning, the language of the meteorologist? Are you prepared for a disaster? Do you know where your local, state, and federal emergency agency is? And what about your local Red Cross or Crescent? Do you know their function? Do you know the location of your local fire department, your local burn unit, your local trauma center? Do you know basic first aid? Each hospital has a different specialty. So you'll go to a cardiac hospital, think for a trauma incident, and they're gonna look at you. Then they're gonna put you in a critical care room in their emergency room, and then you have to wait for somebody to come get you by ambulance, which is going to take up time when you could have went straight there. So you being sought after in the best manner is slowed down because you went to the wrong hospital. Not all hospitals are trauma centers. Then there are hospitals that specialize in burns. So you need to know what hospital offers what. And then in the meantime, do you know the basic first aid? Do you know the Heimlich maneuver and CPR? What about the people around you, your family, your coworkers, even strangers that you see every day that you just never spoke to, but you see them every day, so you kind of know them and they kind of know you. Do you have a family disaster supply kit? Have you ever conducted a home hazard hunt? Do you need to fix potential disasters in the house? Do you know the shut-off valve for your gas, electricity, water, and furnace? Do you have a smoke detector, carbon monoxide, natural gas, or radon? A lot of areas emit radiation, which comes from the ground, but you don't know it. So they are radon detectors that are available. You can live next to a place that has high radiation inside and you not know it. Do you know? Do you have a fire extinguisher? A, B, and C, A, B, C fire extinguisher. There is such a thing as a D. However, you, you really don't have access to that one. Some people do, some people don't. When you're dealing with a D fire extinguisher, that means metal is burning, and as a layperson, you shouldn't be there. Um, have you conducted a fire drill in your home, a flood drill, earthquake or building collapse drill, tornado drill, power outage, shut in drill, home invasion drill, abduction drill, air contamination drill, habu drill, tsunami drill, medical emergency, traumatic emergency, emotional distress person? We call them EDPs. Drill, a civil unrest drill, how to conduct yourself with law enforcement drill, an active shooter drill, Are there at least two exits in your home or your apartment? And I think I have this on a PowerPoint, but I'll share it with you guys. My mother and I lived in a apartment building on the 17th floor. And everybody that I know that's a part of emergency response, they were real mad at me. So one of the firemen, and wherever we move to, we always get to know our local firemen. So I got to meet the lieutenant when I told him where I live. I think it was less than a half an hour, might have been less than 15 minutes. He was banging on my door. So he bypassed security, got through the door, got upstairs, and was banging on my door. I opened the door. He moved me out the way, and he went to every window in my apartment. Then he's going in my bedroom. I'm like, what is this? And then he said, shh. So I was quiet, and he looked out the bedroom window, and he said, if something happens, you get your mother, he says, Ma Daisy. You get Ma Daisy in here, and you push her out this window. We're going to be downstairs. We're leaving you because you're going to have to take the stairs. But the fire ladders only go up to the 5th floor. So they do have the I call it a giant air mattress. That's a rescue tool for people in higher buildings. But you have to be able, the firemen uh, can only set it up in a certain area. So if it wasn't safe, if my bedroom wasn't safe, or another window in my apartment, but my neighbor's window is clear, I need to be able to access my neighbor's home to be able to save my family. So I just wanted to share that, because you can't be a part of something and teaching something and then get into a situation where you looked on as a hypocrite. I just had to take that apartment in an emergency. What else? Where am I? Does every member in your family, your home, have their own go bag? Everyone used to get mad at me because I would have my mom carry her own go bag. Um, but everybody has to carry their own. She was fine with it. It wasn't too heavy. She was incontinent, so it was really just her Pampers and wipes, her water, enough, just enough for her to handle.
Yeah.
And we
No, I want
even
to add on to that. If I could interject for a second, that is so important that everybody have their own, because you never know if you're going to be separated, and so you need to have your personnel on you. You never know what's going to happen to the other person.
yeah. My mom also had her own cell phone, just a throwaway phone that I think the phone might have been $20, and the card was inside a $10 card. I activated it, so it was the one that you use daily or something like that. My mom has since transitioned. It's been a while, so everybody can have a form of communication.
Right.
Um,
But we
do,
going into that
in
more.
the event, in the event that your family is separated, the children are at school, you're at work, your husband's at work, and you're out shopping, and then all of a sudden there's civil unrest, or there was a contamination spill in your air. Somebody was making meth and blew up the house, and you all can't get back home. So, do y'all have a meeting place? Because often during disasters, they will block out your communication. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what cell phone you have, they will cut it off. I was
Yeah.
here in New York when the communication grid went down for the whole East Coast, and emergency personnel couldn't communicate with anyone. I had a landline. They ended up making my home a command center, and because in Nextel was the only phones that were working. Nextels are no longer available. They don't want people to be able to contact one another during an emergency. Um, do you have plans for your pets? Do you have a outside phone line, contact? You'll be able to call out of state sometimes instead of local. So you can call a family member or a friend in a different state and leave a message, and then the whole family knows to call that person. Do you have a disaster plan at work? Do you have an emergency plan at work? Does your child have, do you know your child's um, emergency plan? Do you know your child's school or care center's emergency plan? When I was a school nurse at work on September 11th. The word came in to shut the doors and don't let anybody in or out. You can't tell that to a parent. You cannot tell a parent they cannot have their child during an emergency. Um, but the principal went into shock, and other leaders of the school um, disappeared. So I guess that's how they deal with stress and emergencies. So the security guard came to me, and I was like, you have to give the children to their parents. Just make sure whoever's name is on that blue card, they can get their child. Um, and this is the way you're going to get those blue cards back. So it took most of the day. Children were left at the school because their parents could not get to them. But you need to know their plan and give your child a plan on how to get home. And even if they're not at school, but out with what is it, music lessons or sports places, if there's a disaster, do those in charge of your children know what to do? Is there a disaster plan for your place of worship? Do you know the disaster plans where your child frequents? Okay, I have library, museum, movie theaters,
Right.
shopping mall, grocery store, um, friends and family homes, vacation places. Do you have a record? Do you know where your family records are? The insurance papers, the mortgage to your home, not the actual paper. That should be in a firebox, but you should have copies. Um, can you list the valuables in your home? Do you have pictures? Even when you load something up, that goes missing. Do you know basic vehicle maintenance? Are you prepared? Have you prepared you and your family mentally, physically, and spiritually for the time and what must be done? Any questions?
I have something to add. When you were talking about, there's that meetup place. You need to have more than one way to get there. You really got to make yourself available, or to make sure that you know all the different routes. Because if that route is blocked off or anything like that, you need to have another way to get where you're going. So it's always good to have, they say one is none. So you need at least two. You always got to have a backup plan.
In the route that you take, I need you to look up the King Alfred plan. I think I shared that.
in
And
in the files for today is
no,
King
I
Alfred.
think yes. So, and you can look it up for
Can you
yourself.
spell it? Can you spell it so I can put it in the chat?
King, King
Mm-hmm.
Alfred, ALFORD or ERD
Okay.
plan,
All right.
or Rex 84. So do your own research, but there are concentration centers
Mm-hmm.
where that are along the evacuation routes. So, uh, and when you're driving, you should pay attention to signs because the evacuation route sign is a blue sign that's on. I don't know why I don't know which way I am. I'm coming up different on the screen.
Doesn't matter. We know.
So on the right hand side of the road, the right hand side of the road when you're driving where the signs are, there are signs that will say evacuation route. There's also signs that let you know what sea level you're on. When you see the different pipes, like there's an orange pipe, a yellow pipe, a red pipe, a white pipe, those are also indicators. Electricity, gas lines, and what have you. Just like when they tell you before you dig, you should know what these pipes are and what they mean, and also plackets on vehicles. So just for emergency.
Right. Okay. So I'll let you get up the next to the to go the I call it to go the go bag. I'll give you some time to pull it up, and we're gonna look at the comments that and who has came in since you started with the first slide. Let's see. We have Stinky Puddle Ranch. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Oh, you got a new picture. Gigi said that was a great one of the points that you shared was great. We have TT. Thank you for joining, TT. Trying to see if I missed anything. Anne said she's not as prepared as she thought. Thank you. Yes, thank you for sharing this information with everybody. Let's see. I'm trying to see. They will shut all the communication off. I missed that one. We have my mind has been programmed for natural disaster, not chemical disaster, civil unrest. I have work to do. Yeah, and you have there's so many different things that can happen. Job loss, that's considered a disaster or emergency, and so all these different things you have to be mindful of. These are some wonderful action points for us all. And VA Growing Gardener had joined. He's at work listening in. I know it's early for many of you, but thank you for joining. Concerned Parent, good morning. Thank you. I'm so glad you're able to join. And Ann will be back. Okay, thank you. All right. So are you ready to go into the go back here? Or you could talk a little bit about, oh, there we go. Why one would need this as well.
You need a spouse because you need somebody to ride or die with. You need children because that's your help.
Mm-hmm.
There should always be a young person in your home, and you need a emergency survival manual because during an emergency, you will not remember everything. You need a separate things you need. You know, your hygiene, the wipes, the cloths, the soap. I know they say don't worry about shampoo and conditioner and things like that during emergency. Have a small bottle because when that emergency is over, and if you're blessed to take a shower somewhere, that shampoo and conditioner is going to be a spa. Um, just have your basic toiletries. Um, Maybe some extra for somebody else. You want earplugs. The reason why you want earplugs is because you're going to want peace during a disaster. You don't want to hear babies crying, people moaning, people fighting. You're going to need that silence. So, earplugs are good to have in your personal kit. Or we under hygiene. So, to wash your clothes, also have just a small amount of detergent to wash out your underwear, you know, because it's not just going to be 72 hours. That go bag that you have on your back can be for 30 days. Multiply it by 10. Let me go back up to the other side. Oops. Your first aid kit. In your first aid kit, you also want information. Um, the Have a on a paper your medical history, allergies that you have, a first aid manual, um, a small notebook and a pen, your spiritual cards or books, and your affirmation cards, whatever's gonna lift your spirit up. A CPR mask. You want your own mask because if I come up to you and you need help, I'm gonna go through your stuff to see if you have the equipment to help save your life. Because what I have in my go bag is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not responding as an emergency personnel. And during disasters, emergency personnel do not respond. If you're told to evacuate and you do not evacuate as a first responder of search and rescue, I'm not coming to help you because I'm in the same disaster you're in. So I'm securing me and whoever's with me. Once there's an all clear, like everybody was saying during, a lot of stuff went wrong with the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. But the helicopters that flew by over people, the first copter that you see is actually the Civil Air Patrol. So their helicopter, the window is a camera, the whole screen. And they're reporting back to Homeland Security, Red Cross, the sanitation, electrical, the electric company, the chief or head of police, all the, not even the top people, but whoever's in charge of their emergency disasters are in that room taking information so they know what to deal with. So instead of being on top of the roof or in a boat complaining, you need to be able to communicate back to that helicopter the help that you need. Um, all right, let me keep going. Um, so you want a complete, a full um, first aid kit. So here it says eye patches. If somebody has an eye injury, you want to cover both eyes. You do that because if you leave one eye uncovered, they're going to look around. When you look around with the good eye, you're going to force the bad eye or the injured eye to move. So if you have something impaled in your eye or stuck in your eye or whatever the situation is, it could just be a minor burn. But if you're looking around with the good eye, the injured eye is going to follow, and you're going to cause more injury to it. You want the eye shield because you want to put the shield on top of the patches that you don't cause further injury. The eye cup is for medicine. I'm just going through some things quickly. Then you have your pressure bandages and things to control bleeding, antiseptic wipes, bug repellent, uh, tweezer. You know, if you get stung by a bee, you don't use a tweezer to take it out. By squeezing it with a tweezer, you're pushing the poison or whatever's in the stinger into that person. You use a credit card, and I don't know what you're seeing, but if I get stung, it's not a tweezer to take it out. You want to use a credit card or cardboard or something, the back of a knife to push it out. Sam splints or foldable splints. Okay, I was in the house alone when the fourth digit, the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet. But when I came to, one of my friends is a epidemiologist, so she wanted to know, what's your pulse ox? What's this? What's this? What's that? I'm like, what? What? She said, I know you got it. Give it to me. I had these items in my home, and so the your stethoscope, pulse ox, blood pressure cuff, the the thing to look in the air, all these the tongue the tongue depressor. It all fits about 4 by 6 inches in a pouch, so it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's really not heavy. You can have that, and you should. Um, those of you that are on medications, uh, you need to have your medication. And those of us that are not, there's certain things we should carry just in case. So when you have are on medication, you wanna that was explained earlier, but you want to pack your medication, how often you're supposed to take it. It Don't leave it up to a person to understand what's written on the bottle. Write it down so you can so whoever's reading it to help you will know exactly what to do. So you have your daily medications, your seasonal medication. You want to pack for cold and flu season. Um, eye drops, drawing salve if you need to get a poison out, act- activated charcoal, um, activated charcoal. If somebody ingests a poison, and this is how you know if you need to let them vomit or let it pass through them to give them something to cool it down. If it burns going down, you don't want them or you don't want to bring it up because it's going to burn coming up and you cause more damage. Um, Certain poisons, especially around children, small children, adults that have dementia and Alzheimer's, you also need to lock stuff up away from them too. Um, Activated charcoal soap if you need to, hazmat, if you need to wash, you need to pack that. And there's a they sell it in the Dollar Tree. Surprisingly, I took a walk in there. Everybody was talking about getting disaster supplies from the Dollar Tree. They sell organic stuff in the Dollar Tree. Who knew? But I can't remember the name, but it's in the soaps because I thought they only made the oatmeal soap, but they actually have the activated charcoal soap also.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you want poison ivy and oak treatment, and just because you live in the city, uh, you be surprised what's growing in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Colloidal silver is good for bites, spider bites, and certain venomous things, but do your own research. Oops, where did I go? A snake bite kit. Y'all make me laugh talking about snakes in the garden. I don't have that problem in New York City. Um, or this is you can't see my finger. This the oral and topical.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get both an antibacterial, antifungal, or antipyretic.
Pyretic. Uh-huh.
Thank you. Antiviral, analgesic, and anti-itch.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get both oral and topical on those. Antihistamines. I didn't give any name brand because if you do over the counter, if you make your own tinctures and herbs and what have you, just do what you do. Use what you use.
Mm-hmm.
A EpiPen. If you are allergic to bee stings and you know you need an EpiPen, or someone around you, a child, a spouse, they'll have theirs, but also have it for them. Okay, potassium iodine tablets. You need to take potassium iodine when there's a nuclear incident, large radiation spill. So everyone needs to know, and you can look it up, where is the active and closed nuclear plant, the closest one to you. And it could be far away, but if you live near a hospital or imaging center, there's a nuclear center, the cancer places, they have nuclear radiation That's how they do the scannings. So you need to have that on hand. There's also something I have that's called a nuke alert. One day somebody came in my house and I kept hearing this buzzing. Tit, tit, tit. It gives you different signals um, in regards to how much radiation is being emitted. So it was in the kitchen drawer with the keys. So I went and looked, took it out, and then when I went by him, he just kept going off. I don't know if he was doing cancer treatment or whatever, but he had to leave because I didn't know what was going on with him. You need a bio bag just to keep hazardous stuff in that you need to throw away. The Sharpie. Oh, the Sharpie. And you want a Sharpie if you feel that you're not going to make it, you want to be identified. If you did not evacuate when everybody told you to evacuate, you want to be identified. So you take the Sharpie and on your forearm, you write your social security number so you can be identified during recovery. And your loved ones don't have to keep worrying. Waterproof package to house kit. I don't remember what that's for.
Are you
Um,
saying you want to put all these things like the identification in waterproof sleeves?
See, you knew what it was for.
Yeah.
And you can just use a Ziploc bag inside of a Ziploc bag inside of a Ziploc bag, and you'll be good.
And Dollar Tree has waterproof sleeves. So like you said, I like to like put one and one and one and one. And that'll be equal to buying, the more expensive.
Yes, ma'am. Um, these are some of the IDs you need a copy of. Your driver's license. If you can't show proof that you live, all right, I live in a certain part of Brooklyn, but my mailing address is somewhere else, which is actually on my ID. So if I can't prove that I live here and not where my driver's license says, they won't let me come back home if there's a shutdown and they're only allowing residents in. So I just wanted to share that with you
Yeah, very
in,
important.
in regards to your identifications, your marriage, uh, birth, marriage, and death certificates, passports. If you don't have a passport, you need to get one. Now they stamping a star on some states, and there's other forms on your driver's license that's letting law enforcement know that you're a citizen. Um, if it's not stamped a certain way, you're just a resident. So that's one form of passport ID is your driver's and state license. Uh, but you need more than national, North America and South America, wherever you can walk, is different from an overseas passport. You need both and have a copy of it. Your Social Security card, health insurance, declaration of vaccine exemption cards, life insurance, wills, power of attorney. Um, that actually shouldn't say. It should say wills and estate plan. if you own property, you need an estate plan so nobody can take that property. Nobody can fight over it. Whoever you say it is, that's it. Stop calling the lawyer, because every time you call him or leave a message, he's taking $500 of whatever plan or money you think you're going to get. Just wait. Everything takes a 90-day period. You're not getting a lot of stuff right away. Just be patient. Mortgage, tax papers, property tax, insurance, the everything, deeds. So you just want a copy of it. Equipment, uh, hand self defense, body alarm. If somebody snatches one of your children, your wife, or you,
Mm-hmm.
there's alarms that you can have that just make a whole lot of noise and they'll drop you and go to an easier target.
Mm-hmm.
Personal locator beacon. A lot of that's on cell phones now. But if somebody snatched you, they snatching your cell phone. So you want that extra one too. Portable power stations, the cords and all that. Rubber bands, bungee. That's just personal equipment. Food. Oh, the garbage bags, the mesh bags, hunting kit. Let me go back up real quick. Oh, this is the fun stuff to have. I like to camp, so to me, this is the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sources of lights. Oops, stop. Let me go back. Sources of light, lantern, headlight, a magnet. If you lose something, you want to be able to retrieve it. If you drop something in the sand, uh, in some tall grass that you need to retrieve, a good magnet is good. Lighting, sources of fire. The bandanas. Bandanas mean different things. And I cannot remember right now. I
Okay.
think the red one is the yellow one. Sorry, I'm gonna have to look it up or share it another time, but you can look it up too. Different color headbands mean different things to hikers that know law enforcement. If somebody has you against their will, and there's ways to signal. So the different headbands mean something else. So please look that up. I'm sorry, I don't have that information. The two mirrors is for signaling. Okay, if you're out somewhere and you're lost, uh, when we did air patrol and you're looking for a party or a party is looking for you, it's the same communication. So if you're out lost or your child is out lost and people are looking for them and you can see overhead, uh, if you're seen overhead, the helicopter will make, or plane will make a circle. The back, the rudder, they'll wag the rudder and then they'll go in a straight line. They're communicating to you to go that way. That's either your way out or that's where the search party is looking for you. So I wanted to share that. Compass, we need to know how to read the stars because magnetic north is no longer magnetic north. Still get the compass though, and know how to read a map. Uh, Binoculars, axe, sharpening tools, sewing kit, chainsaw. Um, the chainsaw, I'm talking about a pocket chainsaw. It's it's a pocket chainsaw. You can just Google it. Alice clips and other clips are different. The test cord is the paracord. Different colors uh, mean different weights. You want the garbage bags and the Ziploc bags to collect your waste and dispose of it properly. Foods, dry fruit, travel meals, whatever your choice of stuff to carry, water, snacks, uh, special need foods, pet food, treats, medications. It should be supplies. Look, I know we don't do teething rings and pacifiers anymore, but if your child doesn't stop crying and I'm around, no, I done took something out of my pocket and stuck it in his mouth. I love children, but they can't cry all the time. Or I may just take your child and it'll be up under my arm while I'm doing whatever I have to do. Communications, we spoke about that. Uh, Everyone should learn and have a ham radio. See, I have orange flags. I just can't remember it right now. That brain fog with this thing, sorry. And packing your clothes, your 3 sets of underwear and thermals, depending on where you live, but they're not, since everybody's experiencing everybody else's weather patterns. Um, Now, sturdy shoes are here. I put that because I'm not always dressed. I dress a certain way in public, but when I have to show up for a disaster, I dress a different way. So my shoes are usually outside of my bag for me to just change into and change my clothes real quickly. But you also want 2 pairs of insoles because you don't know how far you're walking. If you live in California, you may have to walk to me here in New York. Never know. Just make sure that your foot source is comfortable.
Do you have moleskins on this list?
Yes,
Okay. Hey, Erica, and Weekend Garden Show.
something for entertainment for not just your children, but you too, because sometimes you just need to zone out. And if it's electronic, extra batteries and your own power source for that. The Bear Bell is down for protective gear. It's not just notifying the bears that you're around. Don't bother me. I'm walking where I'm walking. I'm not, I don't want to walk up on you and startle you, and I don't want you to jump out and startle me. You don't want to startle people that are hiding. Let them see you. You about your business, and you ain't bothering them. Let them see. Let them hear you. You coming, so they could turn around and see what you doing and give you permission to pass by. Don't be quiet like you a ninja. You get taken out. Um, Bug netting, uh, um, the reflector suit. If you're out at night, you want to be seen. If you have to walk at night, and you walking along the highway or something, you want to be seen. Sun protection. Okay, I spoke about that nuke alert, but you can also make a radiation uh, dose rate a meter, radiation dose rate meter. That could be something you want to work with with your children or grandchildren. If you don't have a gas mask with the charcoal canister, you can take um, cotton squares and dip it into activated charcoal, um, and with cheesecloth, and I made them with children when the law enforcement and transit were wearing masks on their legs after September 11th. The children were concerned. Well, what do we have? Make your own gas mask. How do we do that? So we made our own gas masks, and they use the old fashioned dish towels because they're a bit more porous, along with the. Okay, I'm explaining how we did it. They took the dish towel, not the towel, the dishcloth, folded it in half. In the center, they put a 4x4 gauze. Then the squares that you use, cosmetic, they wet it, dipped it in the activated charcoal, and put 4 squares down. Then they put a gauze on top. Then they sewed. I don't know if you can see my hands. Then they sewed that square, leaving uh, material on the side. They had to bring in their own stuff. They either brought shoestring. One person cut the elastic out of his sister's pajamas and brought it in, but he brought it in. And they used that because they said they wanted their hands to be free in the event they had to carry something or do something. In the event there's a incident that requires the charcoal mask, an escape hood. Um, Many of this information is also on the vehicle kit list and the shut-in kit list. Uh, at the window where the ladder is for your home, if you live higher up, um, escape hoods should be in there just in case the child can't get out of the window, the person can't get out of the window, and they have to go through the fire and the smoke and or the smoke. The escape hood will provide them, uh, will filter out the different toxics. Hazmat clothing, boots, and that's just the rain gear. The thin rain gear is also,
Are you talking about ponchos?
ma'am,
Are you talking about ponchos?
not the just
Rain
the
gear.
right, not just the poncho, but the pants and little rubber boot.
Oh, okay.
They're galoshes.
Body. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That also protects you from ash and other things. Umbrella, hard hat, depends on what you're doing. Goggles, hammock. I, Before I had this, I still needed to lay down when don't do what they're supposed to do, or a bunch of people are at me. So as a responder, you need to check on one another, and everybody's a responder during a disaster. Everyone. Um, Means to stay warm, pillow, blanket, a wool blanket, sleeping bag that goes below freezing. That's if you don't have a spouse. If you have a spouse, y'all know how to stay warm. Ground pad. You don't want to lay on the bare ground because the ground will suck the heat out of your body. You need, you see homeless people on cardboard, they know better. They know better. So I took a lot of time on this, but like I
But the
said,
information.
yes, ma'am. Are there any questions?
Yes, there was a question about the moleskin. Anne wanted to know about what is moleskin. So did you want to explain that, or I can explain it?
Moleskin. Okay. Remember back in the day when you wore shoes that were a little bit too tight or maybe a little bit too big and they rubbed on the side of your big toe and you just went and got the Dr. Scholl's little thing to put on there, or if you wore the wrong shoes still trying to look cute and you developed a corn on your toes and that little you had the drop to put on it and then the little skin, that's mole skin. So when you're walking too much, and or if your shoes are too
Rubbing
big,
against your foot. Uh-huh. Yeah.
it rubs. Or if you don't have on the proper socks, that will occur also.
I want to say hello to a couple of people that have joined. Did you want to say something else?
So the mole skin is what you put on top of that wound, so you'll still be able to walk.
Right. Yeah. So hey, Erica. Erica joined, and Southern Sandy. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining. And the Weekend Garden Show. Thank you for joining. I don't believe we had any more questions. And Stephanie, thank you for joining. I don't think we had any more questions, but yes, it's just, for the protective barrier for, especially when you're walking long, for miles, for long distances, for blisters, as you said, the rubbing on the feet. As you said, thank you for having a guest today. Yes.
So next month is Disaster Preparedness Month. So what I plan to do, I know everybody's talking about all these garden channels talk about something different. Just for the month of September, I'm working on having a subject matter on disasters, disaster preparedness, and disaster recovery. Uh, what I want to share with your guests right now, real quickly,
Hmm.
if you
Well,
look up,
hold that thought, because I did want to say two things about what you had said. One of them was when you had just put insect bite kit. Some kits that I think are really good, especially depending on where you live. A tick bite kit, I think, is really good to be able to remove them safely. And then for mosquitoes, you can actually, once you get a mosquito bite, there's kits where it will suck, I guess, poison or whatever out. And so you won't have the itching. And I think if you get bit a lot, especially like if you're in the wilderness, those things are really good too. And I saw you had about a drawing poultice, I think you put. Did you put drawing poultice or drawing
stab,
compost? Oh, a salve.
drawing stab.
Drawing
Mhm.
salve. And I did a video a while back about herbs that are weeds that are common, and one of them is plantain, and that's really good to draw out, like you said, like bee stings or any dirt and debris. If you get in a wound, you can use that as a poultice. So I wanted to put that out there, but definitely look into the herb plantain. It grows in my backyard. Is depending on where you live, it probably is really common. So I wanted to put those two things. Now, do you remember your thought?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, continue. Thank you.
Um, like I had shared that during the incident at the incident command center, there are different community heads um, for are in the command center receiving information, and it's not necessarily the person in charge. It's just that one person that uh, knows how to deal with disasters. So some schools are offering um, homeland security training. You can get that same training, same exact training for free, and you get your certificate card and the big certificate after you take that. You go on to FEMA independent study, and the whole curriculum is there. So whether you paid for it or you didn't pay for it, you have the certification. They give you the whole lesson, and at the end of the lesson, for comprehension, to make sure you know what you know, there's an exam. I think you have to score either a 75 or 80. So just to have, because if there's a disaster and emergency people are not showing up, but you know what to do to save you and your family. And depending on the disaster, you're also saving your neighborhood. You already know how to do stuff. So
Where
that's
you said we could find that information?
FEMA independent study.
Okay. All right. You ready for the next slide? It's already an hour in. Do you want to just do the emergency disaster kit? Maybe we'll do another live of the other information.
What I want to
So,
bring,
go ahead.
you can finish talking
No, no,
while I
no. Tell me
do
what you were going to say.
that. The oh, I forgot. You can't see the screen. The family.
Let's see what is. Oh, you didn't bring up the next one. Yeah, the vehicle emergency one.
No, I want to bring up. Okay, let
Oh,
me.
okay. Oh, the family emergency plan. You want to go to that next?
Yeah.
Okay, we got I took a type of training in California at our local community center for free. It was very useful.
Yeah, but this one is different courses,
Hmm.
and they the number of courses you do, most people get a degree in it, and you know how much they charging now for
Yeah.
certain degrees.
Hmm. Do you see the comment? Ann says, "Thank you for all for this information. I think we are okay if we can stay home, but totally not if we have to leave or are separated or something happens."
Okay, so one of the days I'm gonna go over the shut in kit
Okay.
list. Yeah. Um.
So you have it ready? The
Yes.
family
Is it
emergency
up?
plan? Yes. Let's
Okay.
um yes, there we go.
All right. You may not be with your family when a disaster occurs. You need to plan how you will communicate, how you will contact one another, and practice what you will do in different situations. So, um, in 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 your wallet, your child's wallet, you want this information. It's just one piece of paper you can fold up. Um, Two out of state people to be able to contact. Fill out the form uh, to the information for everyone in the family, their name, date of birth, medical history and medication, any allergies. So there's four spaces. If you need more, you can't write on the back because there's other information you need to put on the back. Just write small. Uh, Home address, work address, work address. That's the parents, guardians, their phone numbers, evacuation location, school address, the phone number, their evacuation location. Because some schools, if a whole school needs to be evacuated and they have the school buses outside and the city buses, they're going to take your child out of the school and take them to another school, to a church, a stadium or somewhere, you want to know where your child is going. Can you get there before they evacuate your children? But you need to get there quick, because you don't want your child with strange folks during the disaster, because the stranger folks come out during disasters too. Library, their plan, if they're with family and friends, what's the family and friends plan of evacuation? Because remember, you'll forget, oh, wait a minute, she's at so and so. No, she not there. Well, wait a minute, I thought she lived over here. No, so and so lived over there. Well, where's she at? Where he at? The family physician, the family dental, veterinarian, the kennel, and your clergy, or whoever. You want that written down. And then the next one. Does anybody have any questions?
Let's see. I don't. Let's see. What's this one says? The ham radio is on my list to learn. Anyone have experience with ham? So can you speak about uh, the ham radio for a little bit?
You can join your local ham radio club.
Oh, okay.
They are still out there.
Okay. I think that's the only question we had, but I did want to talk more about. She was talking about how she got a free training at her local community center. Is there any free resources that you know of where people can get more information, or where you were able to get more information?
You can also join your local CERT, Community Emergency Response Team.
Okay. Anne said, what was that FEMA site again?
Um, it's FEMA. Just Google. Let me do that real quick.
Try to see my comment because I did write it in here.
FEMA.
It was FEMA Independent Study. Is that what you said? Or is there
Yeah.
an actual site?
Um, it's training. Oh, it went. It's training dot FEMA dot gov is.
.gov is at the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Training dot
Mm-hmm.
FEMA dot gov
Mm-hmm.
slash
Oh, okay.
is
Okay.
slash. So I have it.
I think I have it. This is what it looks like. Hey, Hidden Harvest. Thank you for joining. Is that what it looks like?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that is the link, and I'll try to go ahead and put that too.
Can you see my screen?
No, it's not in the back yet. What you trying to go to now? Are we doing the child ID kit? What are we doing?
Yeah, I was bringing that up,
Okay.
but
TV and think. Go ahead.
I want to bring this up.
Okay. FEMA pamphlets at our town hall says to have 6 months of food and water. Yeah, I think they were also saying that they made a statement. I think it was maybe last year about trying to get at least that much food. She said, yes, sir, it was what I took at my community center. It was an intensive 2-day, 8-hour course. I would recommend anyone to take this.
Did you join the team after you took the training? Can you
I
see
think
my
that's a
screen?
question for you, Stephanie. I still don't see it. Hidden Harvest said it's up from 3 weeks to 6 months now. Yeah, it's they've been saying for a while that it's something that we should all consider doing. So I think definitely take it serious. Do you all have plywood for your windows?
Oh yeah, that's a part of the shut-in kit. So, and it should be pre-cut, and you have the screws.
Yeah, so you should just be ready to go. Right. I still don't see your screen. So what I actually did, I ran upstairs and I got some things, some resources, some books that I want to show. One of them I got from a yard sale. No, actually, I got this from Odd Lot, and they give free books once they're just a little bit older. And it said it was two for $4, if you could see that. But I think I probably got it free as a free book. But you can find all kinds of things like this, like at garage sales. I've gotten little books for $2. Just throw it in your bag. I think that is really good. I also got this small reference, and just getting like the pocket size books are good. And this one is the natural first aid. So it has treatments and remedies, but it has basic preparedness that everyone should know. Hopefully you guys can see this.
Pull back some. Okay, that's good.
Okay. And then I have the first aid manual. This one's a little bit bigger, but this, it's for, I would say it's for dummies. It has tons of pictures and shows you everything. If you know nothing, you're starting with nothing, then this is a good one. And that's not me insulting anybody by saying it's for dummies. But I'm just saying I would want it real basic like this for myself. And then just the last thing is it's good to get a field guide so you know if you are in a situation where you need to try to figure out what plant is what. Get one for your area. It's not you want to get, of course, North America, but if you can get one for your region, as niche, I guess, as possible. Those are good to have with pictures, multiple pictures, so you can feel comfortable, and it'll tell you how you can identify it. But definitely make sure it's North America, but if you can, for the South, wherever. Okay, so I just wanted to add those in there. Books are very good. Those are located in the itty bitty corner. Yeah, this 50-cent book. Yeah, this it's not gonna have as many pictures. It's black and white, but it's
What
something. For 50 cents, it may save somebody's life.
what
Okay.
book what bookstore did you go to?
This is a place called Odd Lot. It's a bargain store. So they get like books all the time that I guess don't sell very well. And you can just find it. I've seen other
It's
books I've gotten like at Tractor Supply, which are just, you go there for your feed and all that, but they have lots of different books there. So it might just be good to look at. You have three
okay.
or four ready. I'm not sure, 3 or 4. Maybe he's talking about the wood for his windows. The CERT focused on different neighborhoods. In my neighborhood, there were a couple other residents. We were suggested to help our family first, then neighbors.
Yeah, there's a protocol. You can't leave your family. Remember, they're the ones going to help you when you need them.
Hmm.
So you take care of you first, just like on a plane. Put your mask on first.
Right.
Then you take care of your family. But your family should be taking care of themselves until you all can get together and execute your plan. So, what's on the screen now?
I could see yours, but I just you want to read these comments real quick. It just says, I
Okay.
have I'm sorry, solar powered battery footlights all over. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I love getting solar powered lights and everything like that. And that's usually typically very cheap. The floodlights is really good to have. No need for power. See folks coming from 100 yards away. Oh, there's one more. Let's see. She was just saying that her husband made fun of her because he doesn't need a flashlight to walk around at night on 5 acres. Now he's thankful. Okay, and she was saying the sirens make the video exciting. It
Oh,
puts urgency. It puts the urgency. Okay, so let's share the screen now. So this is
yeah,
oh
and
go
I
ahead.
don't live by a hospital.
Hmm.
You hear a lot of sirens, but I don't live by a hospital.
Right.
So you said what's on the screen?
Yes.
What are you seeing? The list or
FEMA,
the
FEMA Emergency Management Institute is at the top. I do see the list.
oh, okay.
I see the list. Went out for a
Okay,
second.
so though they have date next to it is letting you know that it's a new course.
Oh, okay.
But
You're kind of going out for a little. You're going out a little bit. Okay. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear her? Oh, she's actually gone. So I don't know what happened. But I'm just going to wait for her to come back. I wish I wouldn't have shared the book information because this would have been perfect for right now. But does anybody have any questions too for us for when she comes back? Let me chat with her just to make sure she's okay, that she's coming back. And if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button as well. That will really help. Not right now. I'm sure. Yeah, I didn't know if it was just on my screen, but yeah, she's gone completely. So it just shows me right now. Um, the rest of the property is scary, but at least for 5 acres around our home, it's lit like a car at night. Trying to see if she is coming. And I don't know how much we will get to. Hey, Angela. Our guest has just actually had problems with the connection. So I'm waiting for her to come back. So we've already went through her questionnaire, which was, this is a lot of information. I'll have to re-watch, but she has been gracious and emailed me some of the lists too. Yeah, her information is just really good. It's really important. And so that's why I definitely said, I definitely want her to be able to share it. So some of the things that we did talk about, we went through so we didn't go through the vehicle emergency disaster kit. I don't think we're going to have enough time for that part, but she also has a safety escape plan grid that I want her to talk about, and a child ID kit that I will look forward to her talking about. So we did talk about the family emergency plan, and we did talk about the go bag kit. And someone had asked earlier, I'd have to find the comment, but they asked, is this for, oh, that was Tammy. And I didn't say hi to Tammy. If you're still here, hey, Tammy. She had asked, about the go bag. And so the go bag is in case of emergency, like especially for forest fires or really bad storms where they evacuate you. That's when you would want to leave. Mostly you want to look to stay in your home. That's probably going to be the safest place for you. But the go bag is just in case. We talked about the food being important, the medical supplies, having your documents was another thing that was mentioned. We talked about the moleskin, things, thinking about what you're going to need if you're in like the wilderness. So the insect kits and things like that. Let's see what Stephanie said. She said, I'm so helpful that my hubby and I are on the same page with preparing. We both love camping and being active outside. And I think that that's like the best preparation you can have is to already have like your drill. So you're already outside, you're already learning about what you need out there. You're already used to, cooking over a flame and all of that, maybe the first aid and things that can happen there. Or even what you'll do if there is, like she talked about bears. I think she mentioned maybe about pepper spray. But that's something good to have if she didn't mention it. Um, I still don't see. Let me just make sure. That she's okay and not having really bad technical difficulties. So Hidden Harvest said the acquaintance of my wife joked she'd show up at our house if things went bad. We told her point blank, not helping, didn't prep for others, and she was shocked. That's a big thing. People always say, oh, when they see the things that you have, oh, I know where I could go. And they're just basically saying they're planning to fail. And if you don't help them, that they're not doing anything on their own. And so that's why I really wanted to share this information and give us information that she offered, and to tell people, download the files. They're all in the description. Download the files and get started on this stuff. Make sure you have these things. And as she talked about, you can get the stuff at Dollar Tree, maybe take $5 a week and stock up on these things and put them as level of importance. So definitely, but I think it is good to have a little bit extra, especially like for food. I don't want to see anybody starving or anything like that. And so, just pack some extra rice and beans, and then just keep other things, for your family. So, oh, Ellen, you're still here. Thank you. You said great info and reminders. Hello. I didn't get to say hi. I just didn't want to cut her off. Okay, so she told me to go ahead and continue and read her child kit. So I'll do that. I'll just catch up on what you all said. But yeah, but definitely, if you don't prepare and you just say, I'm going to show up at someone's house, when you're doing that, you're putting them at risk. You're taking food from their family. So please just, if you have the money, maybe don't buy a pizza. Take that $5, $10, $20 and put it to something important so you can eat, for an extended amount of time. So don't put anybody else in a bind because you didn't take the time to prepare. I have to rewatch because of so much great information. Yeah, definitely come back and rewatch. And that's why I put the notes and papers because, even what she's talking about, it makes sense of why you need everything. And definitely make sure you guys take advantage of the links in the description. But I'm just going to hurry up and go through the comments, and then I'll pull up myself the notes for the next one. Let's see. She said her laptop got hot. That's one thing I told her. Make sure you have your charger and everything. So she says, I have a lot of different supplies in the house already, but they aren't in one location ready to pick up and go. So that's something I need to work on. Yeah, that's one thing we did. We have in the backpacks. I don't know about now, but whenever school's about to start, you can get things so cheap. And so whether you're going to school or not, you have kids that are going to school or not, it's a good time to pick up on backpacks, maybe little, spiral notebooks and pens and all those things to have, and putting that stuff in there. I don't know if she put pen. I know she put Sharpie, but pens are so important to have too, and some paper to write. You never know if you'll be able to speak. Oh, she's actually back. So I'm happy. But yeah, definitely having it in one location. And oh, there you are. And in our house, what we do is we have it right by the door. So like in our laundry pantry, it's just grab and go. And we have bags, with the food and everything like that. And maybe make a time mid-year or with the season change to switch out food and materials that you need. So like the extra change of clothes, when it's really hot, it's 100 degrees, you're not going to want some sweatpants or something that you might have packed for the winter. So it's good with the season change to also do that. TT is back. Oh no, don't tell me she's still having issues. So hopefully she'll be right back though. I do have a hard time thinking of not sharing, but I know we need to self-preserve. That is the hardest thing for me. But because I'm a woman of faith, I said, one thing I won't do is, and everybody has their own opinion about, the Second Amendment, but we're not going to harm somebody or turn them away about food. Because it grows free and everything like that. And we always have an abundance, and I try to always share and care. And so I can afford to buy extra, 25 pound of rice. It costs, $15. Even if you decide I won't get it organic, I'll just get non-organic for other people. Definitely you could put $15 and that's going to last. Put it up in some buckets that are $5, $3 for the bucket, and $1.50 for the lid. You could do that. And just so you don't have to worry about feeling guilt or anything like that later on, for $15 for peace of mind. You back now? Don't leave us again. Can you hear me? I can't hear you if you're speaking. Are you here? Are you there? Can y'all hear? I don't know. Or are you moving? I don't know if the screen's frozen or what's going on. And then beans are so cheap too, even though the price has gone up with what's going on, but beans are so expensive too. Or not even beans, you can give them oats, because oats you can actually eat raw. You're assuming, I guess, that people have the water to cook these things. So definitely I'm not going to, if it's about food, I'm not going to fight with people. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. You could throw it out a window or whatever. But this is what I'm saying. But my husband's the one who has a military background, so he might tell me something different, and I have to go with that for what's best. Yeah, she's still having issues. I don't know if anyone has thought of it or not, but a AED is a great tool to have as well, at home defibrillator. Oh, okay. No, that's not even something that I've thought of, and that's a really good tip. So thank you for adding that in, and for putting, what you were talking about too, because I didn't know what the abbreviation was either. Yes, Triple H, that's a good idea to have a stock to share. She is frozen here, so hopefully she'll try. Hopefully she'll keep trying. I also keep cash in my go bag. Yes, because the banks are closed or unavailable. Yes, it's so important, and definitely keep that in some waterproof case or pouches or whatever, that cash. But yes, it's important to have cash, especially when disasters happen. The shelves are empty. There's price gouging, especially like gas. A lot of times it's hard to get, and people are not, you're not gonna be able to do anything with a credit card. You never know when your bank is gonna say no more withdrawals, because that has happened when disasters happen. And so yes, having the cash is really important. The only other thing would be is bartering, and then you still have to prepare, because you have to have something that you're willing to part with, that your family doesn't need. Are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, perfect. So we got 2 comments, and then we'll go right into, and we'll just do the child ID kit and the safety escape plan. Those should be quick. So we should be able to do that. And then you could do whatever you need to do with your shut-in kit list, if you want to say follow up on your channel for that. But definitely, her link is in the description. Definitely check out her channel, because she said, for the month of September, and you could talk more about it, but she's going to have videos going more into preparedness, because that's something that she knows, that's her background, and that's something she's good at sharing with others. So she said, what will you do for all of your family that is not prepared, because they are not listening to you about preparing, and they are not awake to this reality that we are currently facing in this country? So do you have a comment? I can see your face. You got a comment for that? What do you say? Because I have my answer too, but I'll let you give yours first if you want to.
The ant and the grasshopper. The original story. Because in the original story, the ants did not let the grasshoppers in.
Hmm. Well, it's good to have different opinions too, and it is something to think about.
And it depends on who it is, though.
Hmm.
Okay. Because you could be in a disaster and lose everything that you prepped.
Yeah.
A fire can come, your neighbor's house could be on fire and it catches to yours and you lose everything. So you're just like that person that did not prepare. But so if that happened to you and we in a disaster and you come my way, what skills do you have?
Hmm.
What do you have to offer me? Okay, because I need, if you're going to stay here, we need to provide an area for you and your family. But my house is already full. Can you build your own shelter outside? Do you know how to build? Can you cook? What skills do you have that you can offer me? Are you an electrician? Are you a plumber? Are you a real electrician? Do you know what's going on? You don't have to have the certificate, because if you the person on the block that be stealing cable, I know you got some skills. So I may let you in. You may not get in, but you can get at least in the driveway and be okay. I have an extra part for you because, you know, but you skills. What skills do you have? You
Hmm.
don't want to them children that be running and getting on your nerves, but they run real fast. That's your communication. What do you have to offer?
Okay, that no, I understand that completely, and I feel your sentiments. I feel like that in a lot of ways. But I say first is I'm the person. You got to go to the person who is over making sure you have enough food and everything. So first, you have to know internally how much food do you have. Do you have enough to be able to share? And as you said, when they come in, if they come in with nothing, well, then it's basically like they need to be, as you said, having some skills, and they are working, doing different things to in exchange. It becomes a barter, and then it's more like with labor. That's the way I think about it. But I know that we save more food and everything like that. So I'm prepared for that. So if you know you have family members like that and you know you don't want to get in that situation, then I would already put something aside. Don't tell them, put something aside, and maybe they need to have a ration or whatever it is. But yes, they definitely need to be able to, okay, well, then you need to be able to do this. If you're in that situation, I think though, if we're in a bug in situation, I think numbers are really important. I think hands are really important. And so you got to kind of weigh on, your situation and what you think is the best situation.
And then
Um,
on the
you know,
flip
go
side
ahead.
of that, also, I do not recommend going to a shelter, but you need to know where the shelters are in your area because they pick those places for a certain reason. Uh, like a lot of part of Brooklyn is below sea level, and some parts pretty much above sea level. If you live below sea level and you ain't talked to your cousin that's above sea level in years, y'all need to make amends. Even if that cousin did you wrong, you know what you did to me was wrong. However, I need to share some information with you on what's going on. Help them prepare and keep a tote with your supplies in it in the bottom of their closet. Ask them if you could do that. Just we need to make amends.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to share that.
like you said, and I think it's so important that we really do need people. And you may be thinking, I don't need people because I got food, I got my bug out kit, I got all of these things. But there's so many ways that people can be helpful. That's why I say it's important to have other brains, important to have other people's perspectives, it's important to have other people's hands and labor. If it is really that bad of a situation, even just for lookouts, doing labor, the manual labor, because you're going to be doing everything like you said off grid, so you're going to be doing everything by hand, so you're going to want those extra hands. So Stephanie says, if you've seen the news about Afghanistan, the ATMs and banks are running out of cash, so having cash in hand is a good idea. Yeah, you're going to want things that are liquid too. So do you have an opinion about gold and silver? One that you want to share.
It's too heavy, but you can bring it if I grow extra in my yard.
If you grow extra, you said gold
No,
and
I
silver?
said, no, what I'm saying is gold and silver is heavy. Okay. So I don't deal with that. I'd rather have seeds because I can't eat gold and silver.
Right. Yeah.
Diamonds are real. Oh, I'm sorry. Diamonds are real pretty, but they have no value.
Right.
You can't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. Rubies, you can make a laser. I mean, certain gems and stones you can do stuff with, but the real expensive ones, nope.
Yeah. And then there's going to be people that's going to say, how do I know that this is real? Or anything like that too. So you always have that. So we have live. What happened?
I'm from Brooklyn. You gotta come correct.
We have lives through a really bad and destructive. Oh, we have lived through a few bad and destructive hurricanes. Our home was spared. The credit cards don't work when the electricity is down. Maybe trade services, yeah, for food, security, working, shopping with. Those are the things, that I was thinking of. Even the laundry, it's going to be by hand and everything. So yeah, you do laundry. And as you said, we have a shed. And so they might have to be out there and having, that security or that lookout too. So I definitely think about your situation, especially the people that have more land that, that's a bigger radius that you have to work out. No skills, no meals. I like that.
Okay. I'm Muslim, right? So I get the books mixed up, but it's the same story. Some have a longer story about it, some have shorter stories. In one of the books, when Noah's son was at the door, God said, close the door. So you back in the 80s, I don't care what was going on with a crackhead, you ain't coming in my house. You hungry? Look, you need to shower? Hold on. Threw a bar of soap out the window, use the hose in the back, and throw you down some clean clothes. You hungry? When you wash up, it'll be something. I'll tell you where to go find some food, and the plate is there. Crackheads, you can't come in my house. So, like you said, you got to know the person. It depends.
Yes. Anne said, helping hand, not a hand out. Really true. But I don't want to say, it's already getting almost to 2 hours. I can't believe it. So let's look at this child ID kit.
Okay, real quick. Oh, okay. So the way it's printed, you fold it. It was meant to be printed on an index card, the Cardex rather. So you put the child's name, the date the kit was made, and there's information on what to do if a child is missing. If your child is missing from home, you search the home by checking closets, piles of laundry in and under the bed, inside or refrigerators, wherever a child can crawl and or hide. If you do not find the child immediately, call 911 or your local law enforcement agency. If your child has disappeared in the store, notify the store manager and security office, the security office employees immediately. Many stores have a code like Code Adam to let you know that a child is missing and you don't want children leaving the store. If a parent is with a child and the security officer says, can you hold it a minute? We have a missing child. If that person gets, what do you mean? This is my child, and gets irate, that person is going to be taken down. Because as a parent, you understand. Oh, okay, no problem. I understand. So there's certain signals, there's things in place for your child. You can call 911. When you call 911, provide them with the child's name, date of birth, height, weight, what they were wearing, any identifying markers. Do they wear glasses, have braces, birthmarks, moles, scars, tattoos? Request your child's name and identification information be immediately entered into the National Crime Information Center missing persons file. After you make your report to 911, you call the National Center of Missing and Exploiting Children, and that number is 1-800 loss. You want to have on this card a photo of your child, when it was taken. So when you the school photo every year, that was also set up so you would have a picture of your child. Because before all the selfies and the phones and recording your children all the time, many people didn't have photos. The age of the child, the height, weight, blood type, RH factor, and take a strand of their hair when you pull it out, right? Or if it's in the brush, you don't have to pull it out. You want to make sure you have at the follicles, the hair follicles in that strand of hair, not just something, a piece that broke off. You want to really get a piece. You can get it from the brush. You want a thumbprint. So you can go to the police station and ask for a thumbprint. Personal information, the child's full name, nickname, address, date of birth, gender. It came out wrong. So the mother's or the guardian's name, contact, father's name, contact, medical information. Are they on medicine? Any medications? What illnesses do they have, if any, allergies, if any, the physician's name, physician contact number, clinic or hospital that the child frequents. Also, have one for elders. I say have one for everybody, because accidents happen when a person hits their head. They don't remember anything, and you want your loved one found. Have the information readily available. Hospital of birth records, clinic, hospital frequent, the address and the contact. So here, physical identification. If your child has a birthmark on the inside of their arm, you want to have that indicated. If it's on their back, a certain scar somewhere, any piercings. So if there's a special tattoo, you want to be able to draw it on there. Dental records. God forbid your loved one needs to be identified and there are no markers except the dental records. So I don't know why it didn't come up on a PDF, but it came up on okay, I have a Chrome something that's different from a regular computer where Word doesn't work on it and everything just shift around. But the baby chart, the teeth,
Hmm.
there's your dentist can provide a small picture for you to put right there in the event that they have to be identified. Any questions?
Not right now. So could we jump into, if you guys have questions, write it down in the comments right now, um, if you please. That sounded so rude. But could we do just, I think we should be able to finish just the safety escape plan grid, because I think that should be real easy to go over. And then we're going to let you guys go. We don't want to overload you with too much information. But I think we should be able to get through that, and then we should wrap up.
Okay.
And thank you to everybody who's been here, the whole time listening and everything. Everybody who showed up to support both of us is so appreciated. And who has been here and patient through the, technical difficulties and everything. Okay, so we have it up. All right, here we
Okay.
go.
So the grid below is you can do if you have multiple levels in your home, the basement, ground floor, second floor, third floor of your mansion. Uh, you want to do a grid for each floor and share it with your family when y'all do your plans. Um, you also want to do a grid with your home in the middle, your apartment building in the middle, and the surrounding area. So you know if there's a gas leak, you can't all meet outside in the front lawn. What corner are you going to meet on? Or if you hear there was an explosion on your block or something, where are you and your family going to meet up at? Is it 3 blocks away at the local gas station? Is it a couple of miles away at the mall, or wherever it's going to be? You want to map that out. And with your go bags, you also want to do, I see everybody's walking. A lot of people are walking. Put a backpack on your back with a weight in it that your go bag weighs and do your walk.
That's a
Here in
really
New
good.
York, here in New York, we used to have what's called evacu walks. So we would meet up like I don't know if you know New York, but Flatbush and Fulton Street, or Flatbush and Atlantic Avenue. Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Suffolk, and Nassau and Suffolk County is one island. Manhattan is a different island. Staten Island is a different island. The mainland is the Bronx out of the 5 boroughs and Long Island. So how do you get to the mainland from Brooklyn? So we would meet up downtown Brooklyn, walk over the Brooklyn Bridge, get into Manhattan, walk to the West Side Highway, walk up the West Side Highway. Then there's a bridge that would take you into the Bronx. And then we would go to Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx. There are old railroad tracks that'll get you upstate. So that's how, and I did this with my mother. May Allah be pleased with her. So everyone can do it. Everyone has to Just walk with your pack. And I want to share a story. It was a movie. Billy D. Williams. Cannot remember the other two actresses. The other actor and actress. They became homeless because of Hurricane Katrina. And the woman shared her story that she saw her grandmother or her mother get eaten by an alligator because the waters were rising and grandmother was in a wheelchair and she couldn't get her up the stairs. When waters rise, your weight is lighter. You're buoyant in the water. What she could have done is been calmly with her loved one, and as the waters rise, get her up the stairs. You understand what I'm saying? There
Mm-hmm.
is always a way. You just got to think. So we're told there's no such thing as common sense, but they make you pay in college for critical thinking. Just stop and think when you're in a disaster. What can you use around you? What could you do to save your life or the life of somebody else?
So,
Any questions?
Tina, would you always just say any questions?
I'm sorry. It's like I'm in front of a class.
And hey, Rachel, thank you for joining. And Ann says, I understand. So, yeah, so thank you for all the information. Anything you want to say to wrap it up and tell us about August again? And I'm
September.
sorry, September again, and what we can expect on your channel. And her link is down below. I put timestamps into if you guys want to come back and listen to a certain part. Links to some of the things that she mentioned and books and all that. But go ahead and take the floor and let's wrap up.
Yes. I'm trying to find my syllabus. Okay. So the beginning part, okay, I lost you guys.
What happened?
Me pressing too many buttons.
Oh, okay.
Um so the program I used to have is called Disaster Awareness for Community Preparedness. So you hear me tell stories about young people because I wouldn't have any adults in my class because they know too much. So I always teach children. So one day the elders got mad at me and said they wanted a class. I had them come to a CPR class and I had their loved ones lay on the floor and they had to get on the floor. It was the ones that hit me with their canes. So they had to get down on the floor and save their spouse. I ain't doing it. You got to do it. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to stop the screen. Okay.
Oh,
So what are you going to do? And I learned a lot from them. So they was always invited to my class because elders have a lot of wisdom.
yes.
So yeah. So it included the basics of surviving and being aware of the natural disaster, man-made disasters, the biological, chemical, incinerary, how to respond, and now we have to deal with the active shooter. So all that's included. But then also, before your child leaves the 5th grade, they should have knowledge to be an EMT and have some basic nursing skills. So you'll learn bleeding, the ABC, the Heimlich maneuver, CPR, um, bleeding control, what to do, and how to identify a sprain. What's the difference between the sprain and the strain? So immobilization. Um, let me pull up the syllabus real quick.
I want to talk about what you had just said though about the elders having so much wisdom and knowledge, and it's so true. And so, like, think about the people in your community that maybe are elderly or maybe disabled and everything. And if you know that they're not going to have everything that they need, once you have, like you said, once you take care of you first, you take care of your house first. If you're just in that topping off phase, then definitely I say get some, plan to you maybe take them in with you, if you're going to be staying in, and to maybe have some things extra to be able to help them if they're not able, because a lot of times they're on fixed income and everything. Don't just leave them out there high and dry, and don't leave them vulnerable if you know that they are. I think it's really important to think about those around you too. The prepping is not only about your house. Think about your community, as you said, your community. I think it's important. So I just want to mention that. But go ahead, pull up your syllabus.
And if you have a loved one in a nursing care facility, try and get them out of those places. We had a family member transition, and the children, adults, grown folks, didn't take care of the taxes and whatever the rest was on the mortgage. And they looking at me like I'm crazy. So we were at one of those, I think it was Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'm the odd one that shows up to these events being a Muslim, so they try to bait me with stuff. But I came for food, what? But I brought up the property and I asked the question, what are y'all gonna do with it? And they basically said there was nothing they can do with it, that it was just gonna be lost. So I said, well, why don't everybody get together and turn the house to a care facility? Because I had an aunt that was in the nursing home. The person, one of the daughters, her father was in the nursing home. Her brother was in the nursing home, and they grew up in that house. Why don't you? And so whatever their disability or retirement money was, and this was back in 1990s, that was an income of $20,000 a month into that one house. So I said, well, everybody, not just those that will be living there, but all of the family needs to get together to secure the property and fix it up. Because if you get hit by a truck and you need somebody to help you get yourself together so you can go home, it's best to be around family that's going to actually help you. So they were all saying, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Well, meet me at the house on whatever date it was, and we'll discuss it. Ain't nobody show up, but they called each other to find out what happened. Okay, this is not showing right because it's not under the Chrome or on a PDF. But let me go to the last page to see.
And hey, Yankee sister, thank you for joining. And TT's back.
Okay.
Let me know when you get the syllabus.
Let me see if it's going. It's. Let me see, because it's on Word.
And didn't she do such a good job for her first live too?
And don't y'all tell Do you put this up, or this is just for your group?
It's up. I definitely. I want everybody to be able to get the information. So yeah, everybody can see it.
Because nobody knows what I look like. They just see my hands.
Well,
And
they
if
know now.
and if people see it that know me, they're gonna be like, "What is wrong with Sister Blank Blank?" Okay.
If you want me to move it, I can. But I think that everybody should be able to see the information. And definitely everybody wants to see it multiple times. But I can move it over. I can.
So the disaster preparedness questionnaire, which is what we did. The kit list, we only went over one. The forms we did go over. So there's a PowerPoint presentation and word clear, some vocabulary. So that I'm going to try and make sure it's less than an hour. So I'm not stuttering because this is what I already know and I have a passion for it. So when you hear me in the garden, I stutter. Weapons of mass destruction, which also includes, it's entitled "You and Your Well-Being: Weapons of Mass Destruction," because, like I said, the evacuate, we need to be healthy and to be able to walk out of a disaster situation. So the digestive system, learning the digestive system leads into the Heimlich maneuver. Learning the respiratory system leads into giving breaths for someone that needs it. The circulatory system dealing with the heart leads into the CPR. The Heimlich maneuver, chest compressions, whether you're going to do the chest compressions in the mouth, the breaths, or chest compressions alone. They say you don't need to do the breaths anymore. That when you let go of when you're coming up on the compression, that they take air in. I don't know. Then it's the vehicle kit list, learning basic car maintenance, how to conduct yourself with law enforcement, which also includes warrants. When somebody has a warrant for somebody in your house or you, how do you conduct yourself? Here in New York, I don't hear too much about it in the South, but I'm quite sure it's going on in the South, where police break into your house to do a search or something, and then they'll say it was the wrong person, but they was actually practicing, but they still need to fix your door. But what if it's actually they do bust into your house like they've done in our communities and so-called shot the wrong person by accident? What do you do when the police come into your home? I think the active shooter is here also. I'm not sure. What else? Are y'all on the screen with me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. So the shut-in kit, home has it. So if you see, it says review, because after it's taught, I do a review to make sure you understood, but that won't be done on YouTube, but in the actual class to make sure they understood before I go on to anything else. And children learn quick. I love young people. They just take it all in. So going over the shut-in kit is also the home hazard hunts. Continue to study. Shut-in kit, home hazard hunt, securing your home. Somebody had mentioned the plywood
Yes.
for windows. So if there's civil unrest, you also want to put that plywood up to keep people from breaking into your home.
Yes. Mhm.
How to shelter in place. You know, you're not gonna always be outside cooking, though your electricity is off. So how do you cook inside without um uh
Ventilation.
right?
Is that what you want to say?
You good. We could work together. You know what's in the oh, girl. Then there's a patient assessment. So I do a physical as well as something practical. So there's a patient assessment where I also introduce you to chakras and show you how to do a chakra connection. So it says to bring a tea bag with a string to class. Um, Children would come to me sick as a school nurse. I didn't know if they were telling the truth or not. So I would take my tea bag and put it on around them, touch them at different parts of their anatomy to find out what was going on. And the tea bag is supposed to turn clockwise. So I'm just connecting with their energy, is feeding through me to make the pendulum or the. I like to use tea bags because people get funny if I would take off something and what you doing with that crystal? It ain't nothing. So you can measure the problem and you can work on it. Grandma's hands. It's not spooky. It's a real thing. Remember you fell and somebody kissed the boo-boo and you felt better? It's the love of that person being put into you to make you feel good. I learned that from a church, St. Paul's Community Baptist Church. That's when Pastor Youngblood resided over it. So there you go. So it's called Healing Touch. You can look that up too. So you can take the basics of what I'm going to show you for free, or you could take that $1,500 course. And I'm not taking it away from somebody that is a healing touch person or in a Reiki master. I'm not taking money out your pocket. I'm just doing an introduction. You can teach them to you can teach them to go further. Okay, I got your text. I'm speeding up. Chakra connection, the integumentary system. So this is where we would deal with rashes, bites, burns, and bleeding control. Integumentary system is the skin. There's a communication. Somebody asked about the ham radio. So the muscle skeletal system, sprains, strains, dislocation, fractures, how to immobilize them, the go bag, and have a professional pedicure. Oh, this is where I teach reflexology with the foot. That's a fun class. So I'll just be showing stuff because I actually live alone and I don't have anybody. I'll find somebody I could use to show. Map reading. That's when you're about to do the evacuate walks. That's why you get your foot together. Head injuries and pain. So I do teach the headache technique and the pain drain. The brain nervous system, headache, that's the same thing. And then it all in the liver, and because here's poison, detox, and infection control. The hepatic and immune system is taught. So I'm gonna try and do a whole lot of this within those 30 days. What to do
September. Right.
right. what to do before, during, and after disaster. You can put that information up too if you'd like. Some of your guests already have it because they answered my YouTube celebration and they emailed me. Then
Oh, okay.
some basic search and rescue information, and then there's a midterm. Oh, evacuation, janaza. Janaza for a Muslim is how you wash, oil, and you wrap um, your loved one that transitioned.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm going into estate planning. So because if there's a disaster and somebody transitions, if you've seen the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, they just left the bodies in the street. Don't do that. Don't do that. So let me see. Janaza. Oh, so the midterm is the great and dreadful day. There's the earthquake. Everything is destroyed and laid low. So now there's a tabletop drill discussion. So I ask questions on what would you do if this happens, and people answer, and then I tell them, I'll give them a scenario on how what they were going to do failed. What do you do next? It's a continuous, just keep thinking. You keep thinking and you keep doing until you stop. You never give up until God takes you away. Okay, I hope I didn't bore y'all.
I want to get to this comment really quickly, but I do have to go. But she said she was at a stoplight, but she wanted to say if you need your CPR or first aid, Red Cross isn't too expensive. And also look into your local, as you said it, CERT or Community Emergency Response Team. Almost every city has one. It's a volunteer
Yes, you're
thing.
absolutely right. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
But thank you everybody for joining us. I hope that the information was really good and useful for everybody. But definitely, if you came in late, do watch the replay. I have down below. I have the link where
Hey,
you can
Silver Prepper
download.
Grandma. Sorry.
Oh yes. I'm sorry, I missed it. Yes,
And
thank you
Pit
for
Stop
joining.
Kitchen.
I didn't hear what
And
you said.
Dale.
Oh yes, and Dale. Yes. Oh, and Suburban Homestead Outfitters. Yes.
I
Thank
don't
you
know
guys for
her.
joining.
I
But
got.
do check out. Oh, it's a him. It's a male.
I don't know him. Okay.
Okay, yeah. But do check out all the links below. Thank you guys for watching. If you didn't, hit the like button. But I will see about moving this over. I know you said to make this for members, so I'll do that.
No, you can leave it
Thank
for
you guys.
members.
Huh?
You can leave it for your members only.
Okay, I'll put it members only. Yes, but thank you. Thank you all for joining, and the information was so valuable. Do check out her channel. That's below too. But yeah, we went a little longer than I thought. But yeah,
Sorry.
definitely. No. It's no problem of yours. The information was good. And I hope that it blesses you all. And thank you all for joining. And have a good afternoon, everybody. Take care.
Be well and be safe.
Yes.
Peace.